What's good, family? Come on in, big mama, big mama, big mama. How you doing? How you feeling? How you living? I hope you are feeling happy, whole, and complete, blessed. Thank you so much for being here, your presence. If you feel this vibe, join the tribe. So today, right now anyway, this message is going to be a little bit different. I was getting strongly an energy of a passed over father. Could be a passed over grandfather. It could be an uncle, but I really strongly was getting paternal parental figure. If your father has transitioned, your grandfather has transitioned, your uncle has transitioned, or someone that you see that way, that could be a stepfather, adopted father, just a father figure who you considered a father figure, right? So just take what applies and let the rest fly. I have a lot of downloads that I wrote down. So, and then I'm going to pull messages from the ancestor deck. They were giving me a heavy energy of needing to let some things go, right? A lot of these men who have transitioned have a lot of remorse, a lot deep regret, deep remorse for the choices, the decisions that they made, their lack of consciousness or lack of awareness while they were living, while they were on the earth plane. There's definitely a ancestral pattern, a familial pattern, a generational pattern that is on your head. You are the responsible descendant who is supposed to be breaking this pattern. So I'm going to go through all the downloads. I got places, months, ways that they transitioned, the causes of their death, and other things. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through what I got, and like I said, I'll pull messages. So if it resonates for you, obviously, if you have a passed over father, grandfather, or uncle, could be a big brother too, right? I just heard that somebody's big brother. There could be a message in here for you. All right, y'all. The first thing that I was hearing, and it's because I was listening to music at the time, Mary J. Blige. And Mary J. Blige, I want to say it's My Life is the song. Life is too short to be trying to play some games. Okay, that mess, it was so loud when I heard it. I'm like, I've heard this so long. Why is that one sentence resounding in my head so much? And then I started getting downloads from these masculine energies. I'll start with the months. So they gave me June, February, January, August, April, October, May, and December. This could be their birthday, your birthday, when they passed. Some of them when they came to this country, because I was picking up on heavy immigrant parents, immigrant grandparents. The remorse and the regret that I was feeling was them apologizing. They were saying, these men were saying, they never could apologize when they were in the physical. Saying sorry, acknowledging their faults, taking accountability, taking responsibility for their actions was not something that they did. So I was getting a lot of apologies, that they couldn't say those things to you here, and the recognition of how they failed you. It was so heavy, and it started making me like choke up, and they were like, did I ring this? And they were kind of like, girl, don't start crying now. Don't start crying. So they're very funny, like a dry sense of humor. Not everybody thought they were funny, but you did. They were really giving me the energy that you learned a lot of, like your quick wit, your like the comebacks, the like your banter, your rhetorics, right? Like your ability to the way that you can come back, the way that you can like crack jokes with people, your banter with folks, your sarcasm, your intellect, your brilliance, that stems from them. And they're very proud that that's something that you've inherited from them. And then they switch to not being so proud of all the other things that you may have inherited from them. The apologies that I was hearing was, I know you never heard it. I know you never heard me say it, but I'm sorry. Let me help you now. So I was getting sorry for leaving you so soon. Some of them transitioned when you were really young. or before you were born for failing you as a parent. So that was really why I was feeling heavily somebody's father, because the level of regret and remorse that they have. Now the top of my crown is buzzing. I can feel somebody like touching me. And they were apologizing for not loving you right. So they were also saying you could be seeing their birthdays, numbers, like number sequences, angel numbers, their names in places, or hearing people call their names. They also were bringing my attention to keepsakes, antiques, watches, some type of memorabilia, or things that you have possession, things of theirs that you still have possession of. Yeah, they were also apologizing and the remorse for the harm that they caused, whether directly or indirectly. Some of these men, your fathers or your grandfathers, you watched how they treated women. A lot of them were referencing your own mother, the relationship that they had with your mother, or the lack of, right? Or the things that you experienced in that dynamic. And the grandfather was apologizing for your parents, the mother specifically, something that they didn't do or didn't give the mother, and how that indirectly or unconsciously brought you harm. Or, yeah, I got the window open, y'all. Okay, so that's why you see it blowing. This is the winds of change as well. And the piss poor parental figure. That's literally what I heard. Piss poor parental figure. The causes of death or the ways that they transitioned, I was getting heavily drug abuse, alcohol, something with the blood, some type of blood issue, blood. It could be like cirrhosis of the liver or some type of blood disease, blood cancer. I heard leukemia. I actually just heard leukemia. Alcoholism, complications, blood, heart, lungs, cancers, various forms of cancers was coming through, suicide for some. Greed, gluttony, selfishness is also what I heard. I didn't write it down because I was actually trying to enjoy my breakfast, but I also heard vehicular accidents, car accidents, and then medical malpractice is also what I heard. Somebody could have gone in, went in for like a surgery or a procedure or something, and then complications of that, like they got an infection. That's why I was feeling the blood so strongly. They got some type of infection or complications of the surgery, or it was botched or something along those lines. And I feel like the family could still be trying to like confirm, right? Like, yeah, somebody's family could still be in I don't know, negotiations or mediation or something like that over the cause of death, and or the hospital or the care facility or something really being the reason why this person transitioned. So that was coming through also. And then so them saying, I know I couldn't give you what it is that you need in the physical while I was there. Let me help you now. Is their transition. They are a part of like your spiritual team, your ascension team. And I was getting some places. So I'm going to give y'all these places. I can't believe we're at 10 minutes in. Okay. I'm going to give you these places and then we're going to pull. All right. I was told not to rush this. So it's going to be for who it's for. If you are still here, 10, and I was seeing 10:10. That's what made me like, okay, let me stop procrastinating and go sit down and record this, because I saw 10:10. It's 10:10 right now. So drop 10:10 in the comments if you're still here. Let me know. Okay, thank you. So the places, I was getting South America very strongly. Peru, Venezuela, Panama, Ecuador were a few of the places that I heard, but I was just seeing the whole continent of South America, the whole continent of Africa, and I got specifically Ghana, Nigeria, Egypt, Sudan for Africa. It could be a bunch of other countries, but those were the ones that I heard. Mexico, and then of course the Caribbean. I was hearing the Caribbean so loud. I was hearing Bahamas, I was hearing Barbados, and I was actually just talking to my Bajan sis yesterday. I was hearing Barbados, Jamaica. I was seeing Red Stripe beer. I was seeing Guinness beer. I was seeing Jamaican rum. This particular Jamaican rum that my grandparents used to keep in their house all the time. The name on it slips my mind, but it's the one with like the coins on the label. I can't think of it, but it's a Jamaican rum. I know that much. And I was seeing moonshine. Somebody was showing me moonshine, so I was also getting southern states, specifically the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, Texas, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, the DMV area, so Virginia, Maryland, DC, Tennessee, and Kentucky specifically. So that could be relevant. Like I said, if it is, just comment down below. These masculine energies are very, so what I'm going to do, they have a lot of regret, a lot of deep regret. It really is stemming from them, you know, living like they had forever, really not, truly not taking into account just how precious and valuable this life is, and really how short it is. And that's why I was hearing that line in Mary J. Blige's song, life is too short to be trying to play these games. You know what games we're talking about. Artificial heart. I didn't even ask, and this is what came out. Artificial hearts. I was going to take them upside down and then do it at the end, but this one wanted to be seen. And the temple of my body. So the other message that I was getting that I didn't write down was pertinent to the patterns that you are supposed to break as the descendant of your lineage in this current lifetime and era of time, in this current timeline, in this current reality, in this dimension here on planet Earth. Like they're very clear about that. But what I was also getting is the health, the importance of your health, of your physical health, of your mental health, of your blood. If there are conditions in your family in the blood, a lot of that is stress related. A lot of that is unhealed wounds, unidentified traumas, energies in the body that are not worked through. Our body keeps the score. So if the DNA from our ancestors is not altered before we inherited in our mother's womb, we take on all of that shit that they did not deal with. I hope that's understood. So it's the best way that I feel like I can explain that. So they were bringing my attention to the causes of their death and how there are patterns that you're perpetuating that are going to put you in very similar positions, especially if their cause of death was due to some form of physical ailment or physical health, like I mentioned, okay? So let me read this. That's crazy because I opened it to 11 and it says addicted, but I'm reading for 12, okay? So 12 says, this is a new phase. Yeah. They were also talking about karma. All right, so I'm going to pull some cards in a minute, but here's the card that came out, the artificial heart. And I'm just going to read, building oneself to specifications, steeling oneself to adversity, dreaming of electric sheeps. It's interesting because the choker on her neck specifies servitude or being a slave. And then her eyes have this indifference of the future. So the question on this card, it says, if I don't feel the warmth of the sun, will I blame the sun or myself? If I don't feel the warmth of the sun, will I blame the sun or myself? Right, because the sun is definitely out. But if you can't see the sun, it's usually because there are clouds in the sky. There's some type of obstruction, right? So there's an obstruction that they're wanting to bring your attention to in your life that is hindering you, harming you, and holding you up. That's what I just heard. Hindering you, harming you, and holding you up. And this stage of this card, the moon stage, is bargain. And now when you think of bargain, and they brought me to the stages of grief, because there is a stage, I believe, where you start bargaining, where you like You know, if you just fix this, I'll do this. If you just do this for me, I'll fix this. And that's not how this phase in your life is going to work. There is something that is harming, hindering you, and holding you up from what it is that you truly want. Yeah, look, grief prophet. Look, I didn't even know, y'all, I barely use this deck. Hear me when I say I barely use this deck. I've never recorded with this deck. This is the very first time because these men told me to take it. So I'm trying to see if there is a glossary that reference, and sure enough, grief processing. What did I just say? Okay, so bargain. Here we are, stage 3 of the grief processing. Bargain. Once anger subsides and we have exhausted our strength, we try to cope with the grief by postponing it, making it less severe or less urgent. We try to talk our way out of the consequences, accepting what we want to hear and rejecting what we don't. What did I just say? This is what they're wanting to bring your attention to. And for some of you, hopefully it is not an actual physical ailment, because this artificial heart is giving me somebody who could have an issue in their lungs, their blood, or their heart because they're not taking care of their body. And look what's behind the temple of the body, y'all. Guilted regret. Because of what? Envious, gluttony, and triumph of lies. Your ancestors, queen of my world. So the other message that I heard, these masculines were talking about what they endured because of how they treated. Didn't I say? Apologizing for how they treated the mom or your mother or your grandmother or someone that it inadvertently has affected you. It has inadvertently brought you harm. I don't even need to read these cards, because the regret, the body keeps the score that I was talking about, the things that we inherit from our ancestors when they go unattended. This is a lot of what you're truly feeling is not even your own. It's the burdens of your ancestors. Envious gluttony, triumph of lies, queen of my worlds, because they did not treasure or value some feminine in their life. Okay. So we gonna move on, because I actually could sit here all day, and they don't want me to do that. They said the point has been made. Let me just read this. We find refuge in the rational mind, which in turn gives us back the illusion of control. It's the first sentence I see on this bottom part. That's the first thing my eyes caught to. We find refuge in the rational mind, which in turn gives us back the illusion of control. But we still long to live through our emotions fully. We are truly like an artificial knight that wants to become a real person. Happiness is not in numbers, but it's not because numbers are bad. It is because there is nothing that alone can grant happiness and guarantee it. We trade the natural world for artificiality, and then we blame this choice as to the reason why our sky has no color. What did I say? Let me just finish reading this. What if it's not actually connected? What if it's just an excuse? Life is too short to be trying to play these games, right? What if even an artificial heart could beat and fall in love and drown in sorrow? Yeah, so back to the emotionality, back to them expressing, apologizing for being a piss poor parental figure or not being there in the ways that you actually needed. Much of it is tied to the emotional body. So you've inherited this inability to truly feel the depth of your emotions, or simp is what I just heard, because of what you were taught. I mean, it could be for feminines, but this feels very, very strongly for masculine energies. It does. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. All right. So actually, I got 21. Ooh, okay. Oh, all right, yeah. It's for who it's for. You're right. You're right. You're right. They're wanting you to surrender that. This artificial heart being the number 12 is no coincidence. There is an illusion. The illusion of control. Isn't that what that message said? The illusion of control. This whole time, you thought you were in control, and now you're realizing that you're not, because you have not been allowing yourself to experience your emotions fully. And that's an inherited. You were indoctrinated with that. That is not the truth of who you are, is what I'm hearing. And they're not wanting you. Yeah, look. Many of you, I'm kind of feeling this this remorse from you as well, this regret from you as well, like not being able to save this person or help them somehow. They're wanting you, they're asking you to let that go. There was nothing that you could have done. And I'm apologizing for your loss. I'm sending you all of my love, all of my condolences, all of the healing and the peace that you need to still process this. And maybe they brought me to grief processing because you're still processing this person's passing. You're still processing the experience of them and their passing, and like all of the things I'm hearing, all of the things left unsaid, all of the questions unasked, unanswered. Yeah. And so I also said that they're helping you in the spiritual realm. Look. So even if you are feeling alone, is what I'm hearing. If you're feeling alone, you are not alone. You are not alone. They're definitely with you. Hence, seeing their name, seeing their birth date, seeing things that remind you of them, that make you think of them. The fond memories that you have, that's what they want you to hold on to. Even if your good memories with them are few or scarce, that's what they want you to hold on to. Okay, so look, the illusion of control. I was trying to see if something else was going to come out, but I honestly think this is what they want to talk about. Yeah, not what it seems, mirage, visual effect, hocus pocus, projection, predictive programming, confusion, trap, unclear. And then we have spring here. So you're supposed to be hearing this right now. You're supposed to be hearing this message right now. Yeah, look, your girl is on it. Listen to me, they said. Listen to your girl. They could have Scorpio placements. Scorpio, Aries, Aquarius. So they could be water, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but Scorpio heavy. Aries, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but Aries heavy. And then Aquarius. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, but Aquarius heavy. Or you could be those signs. Yeah, gut reaction, discernment, sixth sense, instinct. So there's also, I feel like what they're saying here with this card is you probably have fallen, okay, thank you. You've fallen for some things that were questionable. Or you've fallen into some, like I said, some type of pattern. You fell for something, you were manipulated, you brought into something, and now like the veil could be lifting. This inner knowing that you've always had that you probably ignored for a long period of time, especially if you're still watching it 25 minutes in. Evading that, avoiding that has not served you. I didn't realize I'm showing y'all my good stuff. And yeah, they're wanting you to truly trust that sixth sense. Especially if you feel their presence or you're having like paranormal things happening. This is this passed on with one. And they're wanting you to really trust that. So yeah, so here you are needing to pursuit of arts. Okay, so there you have these talents, you have this gift. You're a good dancer, a good creative, an artist of some sort. We're all creative in our own right. So whatever it is that you create, you've been wanting to create. There also, a lot of their regret is very much tied to the risks that they did not take. So they are encouraging you to take these risks. Your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your big brother, your stepdad, they are encouraging you to take these risks. They are encouraging you to stop holding yourself back and stop buying into the idea that you are, wow, you are trapped. Because the longer you think that, look, the longer nothing will change. The longer you're in the rationale, right? There was something about that message talked about some type of rationale, trying to rationale things and then thinking you have control. They trying to break in. No, it's his call. But I just heard the alarm. Held back, prey, need to break free, detained by external forces, right? Feeling powerless. You are not powerless. You are not powerless. So you have this ability to ward off unwanted energies, negative energies. There is something on your minds. Okay, there's a story, the programming, because if you're aware, whether you're aware of it or not, your thoughts lead to your behaviors, your thoughts lead to your beliefs, which leads to your actions. Your thoughts leads to your beliefs, which leads to your actions. So if you're feeling unmotivated, it's because of what you're believing about yourself. And what you're believing about yourself is based on the story that you're telling of yourself. And now we have yarn coming out here. Problems, big mess, complicated, future gains, work it out, made up story. What did I just... Yo, I'm about to wrap this up. Many working components, mischief. So you may have heard like you were always a problem. You could have, done some time, gotten locked up, have issues with authority. Yeah, could have experience, might have a record or something here, or done things to get into trouble. And look, the old guard, timeless ego, because of ego. Yeah, look, I kid you not. So they're trying to get you to go with the wind. Remember I talked about the wind blowing earlier with the incense here, with the winds, smooth sailing, luxury, travel, comfort, extravagance. You are destined for a luxurious, extravagant, affluent, abundant fucking life. Hear me, friend. But what's happening here is these things, ancestry, which I said, right? And then you have old car. Old car says stuck in the past. Family patterns. Old habits die hard. Overdue. Weary. Exhaustion. Yeah. If you're feeling weary, if you're feeling exhausted, your pops, your passed over grandfather, your passed over father is trying to get your attention to these outdated family patterns, which I said in the beginning. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. I'm not crazy. I know. Your girl is on. My sixth sense is on. Okay. Yeah. Bone tired. The good old days, enduring. No, they don't want you to do that. That's what I said. I talked about it being in your DNA. Go back and rewind it. Watch it again. Listen to this a few times. Your effort is going to be required for this next phase of your life. You're going to have to show up differently. You're going to have to actually truly trust your inner knowing, listen to your intuition, stop gaslighting yourself, stop doubting yourself, stop telling yourself that old ass outdated story. Stop saying this is just how it is. This is how everybody in my family, they all died broke without shit. No. They all died struggle. Nobody in my family was ever wealthy, was ever successful, had things to pass down, created things that are timeless. Okay? And that's the pattern. That's the pattern. Balloons, look, ascension, higher perspective, attaining goals, stress-free, independent, let it go. Okay, so friend, I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to get what you need to let go. And then I'm going to close with the final message from your ancestors, okay? So if you're still here, put some fire emojis down in the comments. Give me some fire or a volcano. That actually looks like a volcano to me from here. Give me a volcano or some balloons down in the comments. Let me know okay, that you fucking with this message. Yeah, this cycle is done. It's time for you to move on. Look, very likely that you are transcending this shit right now. You have shown and proved to yourself that you have what it takes, right? That you can sustain through shit, you can endure. You done took a lot of ass whoopings, you done did all of that. So now it's time for you to truly, truly make the decision, make the difficult decision. I talked about bargaining over here, right? So there's still this thing of you trying to control shit that's beyond your control. There are external forces that you're still giving too much of your power away to, and you need to call it back. However you see fit. These are general. If you like a personal, my email is in the description box below. They're wanting to give you this new life, graduating, lonely. Didn't I talk about you not being alone? You're not alone. Having to live by yourself, that doesn't make you alone. You are surrounded by loved ones in the spiritual realm. Have you ever taken the time to truly think about how many of your ancestors are transitioned if you don't know any of them here in the physical? Do you know how much spiritual support you have with all of those people in your lineage passed over? So that's for someone. There's something here also about the home, okay, because separation is here. So someone needs to end a relationship, and maybe that's why I was hearing Mary J. Blige. Life is too short to be playing these games. So you're going to be with somebody you don't want to be with for the rest of your life, feeling lonely when you're in a relationship? Why the fuck am I with someone if I feel single? If I feel uncared for, unloved, unvalued, unappreciated, unsupported? Why am I with you? What are we doing? So there's something here, giving someone a whole new life so you can actually have the success. You can actually attain the goals. Whether you know it or not, God will not bless you. Spirit does not bless you if you are connected and have people around who will help you squander the fucking blessings that you're asking for. You want $100,000. Why? So you can spend it on somebody who doesn't appreciate you? You can buy up things, you know what I mean? You can buy it on things that don't appreciate with value, is what I just heard. And then yoga, look. Balance chakras, time alone, inner child healing. Yeah. That's what I was feeling earlier when I talked about them being, the piss poor parental figure. And then the ways that they've brought harm to you inadvertently or unintentionally, indirectly or directly because of their choices. And then you have being heard, speaking up, strong opinion, make known, public speaking, communicate, social media. So you're supposed to be, passing through, enterprising, luck, dazzled, wish granted, rare. You are a rarity, honey. Look, and childhood is here again. So they're bringing this attention to you. There are versions of yourself that still are telling these stories. And your life experience is a reflection of those stories and those versions of yourself that are not serving you anymore. This is really what they're wanting to bring your attention to. New beginnings, innocence. So something about your innocence being taken, or something traumatic, very traumatic is what I'm hearing, could have happened to you. Yoga could be beneficial. Breath work could be beneficial. EFT tapping or some form of therapy. Reiki. Find you a Reiki master. Energy work, energy healing. Past life regression. Or it could be just regression for this life. But they want you to have like this lightness of being. Yeah, revisit the past. Look, revisit the past. And butterfly effect is here as well. For some of you, there could be children involved. They're not wanting the pattern, right? Inflicting that same shit onto your own children. Okay? You'll know that whoever it's for, you'll know. All right. Anything else, please? Whole self-health and balance yourself. I'm trying to tell you, this stage of your life is transitioning, healing, past pets, connect with animals, animal spirit guide. And then we have work, career, and crossroads. Yeah, so there's something about your finances, what you're supposed to be doing. Well, all of this transition is to align you to your purpose. Everything much of what you've experienced, the path that you've been on, the people that you have connected with were lessons, were experiences you needed to learn lessons to deeper your soul's wisdom. And you have since gained that wisdom because this niggling will not leave you alone. So back to what I was saying about the blood, the pattern, the needing to take better care of yourself, honoring your body as a temple, it's out here again. They're really talking about natural therapies, balance, Ayurveda, right? So someone needs to get off the red meat, stop smoking, stop drinking, exercise more, make the transition to a vegetarian, vegan lifestyle, whole foods. There's something about gut health here. Your gut health is heavily connected to your financial abundance and wealth. And then you have balance. So back what I was saying about the energy work, the Reiki work, or what have you here, direction, growth, and life stages. Okay, so they're telling me to read that one, the balance yourself. And then we'll close with what you need to let go of, rather. Okay, let's see. Balance yourself is 20. So I'm just going to read the ancestor speak part. Each part of our life contributes to the whole of who we are. The strength you draw from one area of your life can help you manage another. However, it is now time to reflect and address an imbalance. Weigh up how much time and energy you devote to your health, finances, careers, relationship, personal interests, and all other aspects of your life. Once you have identified the areas that need your focus, make a plan to restore balance. Nurture your whole self. Mind, body, emotions, and spirit at all. I can't even make this shit up. I said it in the beginning. The card came out like, I don't really know. I'm not really sure there's much else here for this message, okay? They're wanting you they don't want you to experience and go through what they went through. They're really trying to support you from the other side, but the only one who can actually do the work is you. All right, Spirit. Yeah, somebody needs to go to like farmer's market. So you need to find places where you can get stuff like this. Or you need to move to places where you can truly eat of the earth. All right, Spirit. Final message, please. Pastor and loved ones, what final message do you have for your beautiful descendants? No, I'm done. Okay, so 1, obsessive thinking. Back to that rational mind, that illusion of control. Look. Surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will bring you clarity and even solve the problem. I was just seeing like a petting farm or a petting zoo or something. That's where somebody needs to go. Out in nature, connect with pets. There's something about not growing up with pets or not having pets in the home. Maybe you did and you was just never given one, or you never did not, or your children have asked for a pet and you won't get it for them. Something about because you never had one growing up. Stop that shit. Buy them the fucking pets. That's what I just heard, okay? That's for somebody. All right, and then your ancestors want to close with this. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. This is what they want for you ultimately, inner peace. The one thing many of them did not transition with. They did not experience peace when they transitioned, is what I'm hearing. Because they too avoided and evaded their emotions, tending to their mental health, tending to their physical health, tending to their spiritual health. And they're really stressing the importance of you taking care of your body, your temple, and finding a way to bring balance. Because this card even says balance. Balance yourself, balance your health. life stages, growth, direction. Because where you're going, these changes, look, resistance is futile, is what I just heard. Resistance is futile. Okay, I'm going to close with the angel message. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your spirit guides, your ancestors, my spirit guides, my ancestors, for this beautiful message. There are some parts in here that resonate with me too. I got both of my grandfathers have transitioned. All right, thank you, spirit. Final message. Final message. Thank you. Beautiful. And employment change. Okay, see, I told you. What did I say? That's what I'm... I told you. I talked about you getting alignment with your purpose. Your career path is leading you in a higher direction with positive changes to support your dreams, priorities, passions, and life purpose. Trust that these changes will help you release the old and welcome the new. You are being supported every step of the way. And your final message. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. Okay. Okay, if you ain't know, where energy flows, where focus goes. So if it is not something that you're intending, you want to exist in your reality anymore, you need to stop giving it your energy. You need to stop giving it your focus. You need to stop enabling the bullshit, is what I just heard. Stop enabling the bullshit. Life is too short to be trying to play these games. Some of y'all lost this passed over father, loved one very young. I'm hearing before 50, before 60. Young. That's young. Shit, I think anything before 110 is young. For real. Because according to the Bible, we was living to be thousands of years old, hundreds and hundreds of years old. I can't imagine being 500, 600, 700 years old. I can't. But we were. And now we dying at 47, 53, 62, 74. That's young to me. So yeah, there's something here about that as well. What's this? And no more complaining. What did I just say? They said stop fucking complaining. You giving that shit your attention. You giving that shit your energy. That's why you keep experiencing it. Stop giving it your attention. What do you want to focus on? That is what you will materialize. That is what you will manifest. You need, listen, getting to the wish fulfilled, looking to your universal spiritual laws, the law of oneness, the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of assumption, new thoughts. This is about be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be not conformed by this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You are not here to conform, my friend. You are not here to fit in. You are a rarity. What card was that? Yeah, thank you. You are a rarity, like a fucking shooting star in the sky. You are dynamic. You are incandescent. You are dazzling. You are passionate. You are brilliant. You are rare. You are your ancestors' wish granted. Hear me. You are their dream come true. You deserve everything that they didn't get. They couldn't have. They didn't try for. They didn't work for. They didn't believe they could have. They didn't believe that they were worthy of. I'm going to read this complaining card and then I'll close. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood. You see? You give and stop enabling the bullshit. I said that before I even looked. Woo! Which is never truly spiritual. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. Just what I said. Just what I finished saying. You need to be saying things like, I am limitless. I choose love no matter what. I am limitless. You are limitless. You were born that way. You were born free from restriction, free to create, free to be, exist, just as you are. You were made in the Most High's perfect image, wonderfully and fearfully made. Whoever told you otherwise is a fucking lie. And if you keep telling yourself that, stop. Rewrite the story. Rewrite the story. Revisit the past. Look into revision. If you don't know, listen. You are the operant power. You are in control. You are God. God-given power. You are God. It is in you. It is not on you. If you are not actually, because now I'm hearing, take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. If you're not actually in shackles, where else are you in shackles? Be the glitch in the matrix, not the enforcer of it. Somebody needs to watch The Matrix. You need to realize that you are Neo and Morpheus. You are not those fucking NPC motherfuckers that move and act and do on commands. You are Neo and Morpheus. You are the Oracle. All right. That's what I have. I hope it helped. I feel complete. I hope you do too. I hope you received it with an open mind and an open heart. Comment down below and let me know how it resonated. Until next time.